Next.
It's a society where you are thrown back very much on yourself. There is no welfare state. Natural disaster is ever present. Earthquake, landslide, hailstorms, flooding, fire. Nobody is there to bail you out. You're thrown back on your own resources. And this produces a tough society. It produces a fatalistic society. Fatalism, if you're an infantry soldier, is a good thing to have, because it means you don't worry too much about being shot. You are going to be shot or you aren't. And it is better to be shot gloriously and have your name live on down the generations than it is to stay at home or to run away.
Go!
For almost 100 years, the Gurkhas never fought outside India. But the 20th century was to bring two world conflicts. In the first, a plea from General Sir Ian Hamilton for them to help out at Gallipoli.
I am very anxious, if possible, to get a brigade of Gurkhas, the type of man who will, I am most certain, be most valuable on the Gallipoli Peninsula. The scrubby hillsides on the southwest faces of the plateau are just the sort of terrain where these little fellows are at their brilliant best. Each little Gurkh might be worth his full weight in gold at Gallipoli.
Chest number 452.
Gallipoli 1915 was a blood-chilling disaster. Thousands of Allied troops died, and senior heads rolled, including that of Hamilton himself. In a bitter disclaimer, he had praise for only one body of soldiers.
It is Sir Ian Hamilton's most cherished conviction that had he been given more Gurkhas in the Dardanelles, then he would never have been held up by the Turks.
Next. Chest number 2058.5.
Selection tests for candidate Gurkhas have hardly changed down the years. Even here, back in 1928, supply outweighed demand. The only difference then was the preservation of the top knot, the sprout of hair by which a stricken Gurkha's god could haul him into some Nepalese Valhalla. Some eccentricities have always been acknowledged, such as a Gurkha's problem about running from A via B to C in straight lines.
Once you come to this sort of flat area for running side, I think they got a problem because they don't have such a sort of a good piece of land out here to do sort of a running in a flat area.
They can't work on the flat. They can only operate on hills.
They can operate quite easily on up and down side, but it's very difficult for them to do the sort of running or any sort of physical fitness on the flat area side.
धन्यवाद. अब अर्को साललाई फेरि ट्राई गर्न पर्यो है. ल, थ्यांक यू भेरी मच भाइहरु. धन्यवाद ल.
It's a dispiriting moment for the unsuccessful. Just 6 are going through to the next processing stage, but for the losers it's back to boring old Annapurna along Nepal's M1, the ancient spice road leading to Tibet. They remain trapped in a time warp, where the solitary hotel is not exactly the Himalaya Hilton, and only the animals appear pampered. For a dry martini, read Horlicks. But there's more to this place than meets the eye, and the reason is this man, Tal Bahadur Pun, who left here many years ago to join the Gurkhas. When eventually he returned, it was with the conviction that education is the key to life. He'd had none, only picking up rudimentary reading and writing when he joined the army. He came home determined that the village school should be extended, saying, "He who is without education will finish last." His words, for an exemplary reason, carried weight. He is one of 26 Gurkhas to have been awarded the Victoria Cross, the highest of all military decorations, and indeed which takes precedence over honours such as Knight of the Garter or the Order of Merit. On June the 23rd, 1944, fighting with the 6 Gurkha Rifles against the Japanese in Burma, he found himself alone after his section comrades had been killed. His citation reads,
Rifleman Tul Bahadur seized the Bren gun and, firing from the hip as he went, continued to charge on the heavily bunkered position in the face of the most shattering concentration of automatic fire directed straight at him. With the dawn coming up behind him, he presented a perfect target to the Japanese. He had to move 30 yards over open ground, ankle deep in mud, through shell holes and over fallen trees. Despite overwhelming odds, he reached the house and closed with the Japanese occupants.
He killed 4 with his gun and 3 with his kukri. Still, the citation didn't tell it all. When relief finally arrived, this benign-looking gentleman acquired a flamethrower and incinerated a further 30 Japanese in a dugout. He regarded this as appropriate reparation. But there's something of which he is even prouder, which he insists on showing to the world. His VC carries influence with the Gurkha Welfare Trust, and by using it, he was able to install in his village a simple communal water tap. Paradoxically, only a few steps distant, there flows this river, highly photogenic but seriously polluted. Before the tap, every drop of drinking water had to be carried in from an uncontaminated source 8 miles away. The beauty of this place is sorely compromised by a poverty that the Welfare Trust strives to alleviate from limited resources.
Nepal is the 4th poorest country in the world. To give you an illustration of the deprivation, there's only 1 doctor to 20,000, a hospital bed to 1 to 9,000 people. There is no state welfare system apart from primary school, which is now being extended up to secondary school. And therefore, without any insurance scheme, without any welfare scheme, any hardship means that people become destitute, they can lose their homes and all means of livelihood. And therefore, all our ex-servicemen, and indeed their dependents, look to us, the Gurkha Welfare Trust, to try and help them.
The tap was a gift from the gods, not just to ex-Gurkhas, but to entire communities. Forget splitting the atom or man's first step on the moon, this is reality. No more back-breaking, there-and-back treks for a cup of non-poisonous tea. Now it's only a matter of yards. The villages have nudged into the 20th century, and it's all down to the Gurkhas and the Gurkha Welfare Trust, which across the foothills of Nepal installs other new taps at the rate of 40 a year. From their forays into the hills, the Gurkha recruiting officers have selected the 700 candidates for further examination. They come to Pokhara. It's not exactly twinned with Las Vegas, yet for most of them it's already the thrill of a lifetime. It's the first high street they've seen. Then suddenly the gates of a new planet open up before them. This is the Gurkhas' recruiting depot, order from chaos. Now they are tantalizingly close to a career that will provide clothes, food, world travel. They're very conscious of the traditions they have to live up to.
Our ancient Gurkhas fight for British Army bravely, so they give their life, but they don't give up their hands. So I think that's why this motto is given to Gurkhas. They don't give up till their life will go.
They don't give up till they die. He's also well acquainted with the Gurkhas' motto, even in English.
It is better to die than to be a coward.
This man is a Sherpa yak herder from the foothills of Everest. Not many Sherpas have Gurkha ambitions, so his main concern is how his family will react if he fails.
तिम्रो यदि भर्ती लागेन भने घर फर्किँदाखेरि आमा बाबाहरु है मन दुखाउनुहुन्छ कि अथवा तिमीलाई गाली गर्छ कि
गाली गर्छ त्यो त गाली गर्छ मन दुखाइ
Yes, his parent will be upset, and I think they will be quite angry as well, he thinks.
He's laughing now, but it's a serious matter. There are many Nepalese who regard being turned down by the Gurkhas as a disgrace on the entire family. Some rejects don't even go home again.
Yes, he will be quite afraid, but even so, then he must go back to his village.
The last lap to acceptance is rigorous and literally rock-strewn. A squad of Gurkhas once competed in a London marathon and finished hardly out of breath. It was a Sunday stroll compared with this. The competition is daunting. 57,000 initially applied to join the Gurkhas this year. 700 have reached this stage. Eventually just 153 will be chosen. The burden here is 45 pounds of stones. Tomorrow it will be increased to 75.